It's now back to reality and the drudgery of lawn mowing season is upon us. If you don't know, lawn mowing is one of those tasks that I'm grateful when it's done, but it does get a bit tedious because I've got a lot of lawn, and for the past few years I've had to mow it weekly in order to keep it to a standard that I find safe and appropriate. It could be a bit different this year if it's going to be as hot and as dry as they say it's going to be. Obviously the lawns will be shocked into stopping growing. The last couple of summers it's been very, very wet, so the lawns have just grown and grown and grown. So this year it might not be quite like that. So there's a plus side on that from that point of view, but obviously the downside is that it's going to be hot and dry. Anyway, so it's a multi-step process this, and let me show you where I'm about to begin. I have my new trusty leaf rake, well new, whether it's trusty or not I suppose I couldn't say yet, and that's because what I want to do now is sweep up all of this debris which has accumulated over winter. Unlike in Britain, these sorts of leaves don't really decompose that well. The eucalyptus leaves don't make for good mulch, and they don't sort of disappear underground with the worms, and they don't really break down like deciduous leaves. So as you can see, there's a lot, mostly only on the lawns that are directly underneath these 3 trees here. As I go towards the donut bed over there, it's a lot clearer. So really I only have to rake this part of the lawn in front of the house and a little bit over there. There would be no point me mowing over this, it wouldn't really chip it up, and also it's a little bit of a fire hazard. Anyway, so this is where I am going to begin, and I'll catch up with you I guess once I have finished phase 1. Raked into piles. Now I just have to go and sweep them all up. Don't know if you can see the difference, but that's the lawns all raked and loaded into the trailer, ready to go to the tip. That then marks the end of phase 1 of this project. I'm now going for a spot of lunch, and phase 2 is using my trusty £3.97 edging tool to re-establish some nice crisp edges on the garden bed in front of me and the donut bed, and that will mark phase 2 of Operation Let's Do the Lawns. Okay, lunch is done. I think Vita, oh yes, there she is. Vita's decided she'd like to come and help. And as I mentioned, what I'm going to do now is take my trusty edging tool and just crispen up the edges of this bed and the donut bed, and then I shall be ready for mowing. There we are, all done, both beds. The reason that I do that is just because, at least to begin with, it gives me a nice crisp line against which to strim. And I find it's particularly useful on these beds here that are adjacent to lawn. There's a special type of grass here, this kind of stuff. Maybe it's everywhere, I don't know. But it sort of sends these great big long suckery shoots out, and it just gets everywhere. So by slicing that all up, I've now got a nice crisp edge, and that will gradually fade as the year wears on. But at least to begin with, I know what I'm working with. Quick change of outfit because it's later in the day now and it's quite sunny and warm, and the moment has finally come. phase 3 is complete. Lawns have now been mowed, which leaves phase 4, which is the strimming mode phase. I'm not going to film that. You can imagine what it's going to look like after it's been strimmed. This is about as nice as this lawn's going to look the whole year, as week after week I slowly lose the will to live. Anyway, I'm very pleased with that. Very presentable. And for anyone wondering, for that job I was using my Wallaby battery powered lawnmower. I'll put a link below to it, or at least one similar. And I will be using my Wallaby battery powered strimmer to do the strimming part of the task, not my Husqvarna brush cutter. The brush cutter basically is for anything really outside of the fence. It's a bit more of a hardcore job, and the Wallaby is for anything inside of the fence, which tends to be a little bit more sedate. Well, here we are on Pleasure Bent again. You can see the brush cutter. I think I remarked that I was taking it to get its follow-up service, and there's one or two other things I need to do. The normal stuff. I'm off to collect the fortnightly grocery shopping. I'm off to Bunnings. I'm off to the pharmacy. Might remember this week, probably won't, to show you a bit what that's like. It's quite a low rent one I'm going to today. It's called Chemist Warehouse, which is more of a super drug than a Boots. Priceline is more of a Boots. Chemist Warehouse is more of a super drug. Anyway, and there's one or two other things that I'm up to that are pretty tedious, but yes. Off on another fortnightly outing. I'm just on my way. You can probably hear my car. How cool are those clouds? I don't know how well you can see them. Sort of like an upside down bowl of grey Rice Krispies or deformed bubble wrap. I think I've seen clouds like that here before. I don't recall seeing clouds like that in the UK. And I'm afraid I don't know what they're called. But I'll look it up, and if I can find it I'll let you know. There's a book I'm interested in called The Cloud Watcher's Guide, or The Cloud Spotter's Guide or something. I think it's more Northern Hemisphere based. Anyway, that's by the by. Just thought I'd show you that because I think that's really cool. Slight change of outfit to accommodate the fact it's now raining. But I'm about to head into the Chemist's. It's called Chemist Warehouse. It's quite a small one, so what I might do is just sort of grab some shots which set the mood and the tone of the place, but I probably won't go around chatting and talking about stuff. I'll just give you an impression of what a Chemist Warehouse looks like inside, well, at least this one, although to be honest it is quite representative of most of the chemist warehouses I've ever been in. As I say, it's likely if you're in the UK to give you slightly super drug vibes, but you might see some interesting stuff, albeit possibly quite fleetingly, because it is a chemist and I don't necessarily want to film people picking up their prescriptions. slight change of scene tonight. As you can see, it's night because Will and I have come down to the beach for the weekend. So we'll be going for a stroll along the beach tomorrow. It could be quite enjoyable actually, because it's supposed to be pretty windy, so that could be pretty dramatic. We have a referendum to vote in the morning, so we'll do that first. Head into the nearby town to get a few supplies, then we'll come back, have a nice stroll along the beach, and then in the evening we're off to the theatre at a local town. It's an amateur dramatics production of a murder mystery play. I used to do a bit of acting myself, not for a long time, but I don't recall ever actually seeing an amateur dramatics production as an audience member, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think it could be good fun. And then on Sunday we're just heading back home, probably after another stroll along the beach. But I'll bring you along for bits and pieces of this weekend and show you a bit of the scenery and the sights. We've been here before, but not for a little while, so I'll show you what it looks like at this time of year. We're just en route to the theatre now. We were in town this morning after we were on the beach. You would have seen that footage, it was stunning. And we picked up something really excellent, which has the potential to be even more excellent for the garden. It won't make it into this vlog, and it's still in the shop because it was too big really for us to get home in the car. So I'll show you that in a week or two's time perhaps, but yeah, it's worth waiting for. It's very attractive. As you can see, we're in the theatre. This is what we're looking at. It's excellent. Before I go, I thought I'd just quickly update you on the play we saw last night. It was actually really good fun. Will and I both, well, certainly I, but I think Will and I both really like a good murder mystery. It was a bit Agatha Christie, but sort of set in the 21st century. I don't know how to explain it. It was just a very good play. It was fun. The acting was actually pretty good. The characters were pretty good. So yeah, it was a fun night out. Fun is the word of the night. It was a very fun night out, and we're both very glad that we took the trouble to go and watch the play.